Do separate trusts make more sense for a married couple, or are joint trusts the way to go? What happens to a joint trust after a spouse dies? How do survivors' trusts play into things? Learn all that and more in this episode of Estate Planning Essentials. Hey everyone, welcome to Estate Planning Essentials. I'm Heather, Vice President and Editor-in-Chief at WealthCounsel. On this channel, we supply tips and information on document drafting and estate planning. So if you're a newcomer, please consider subscribing to the channel. And hey, at any point during the video, check out our show notes and links in the description below. Today, we'll be covering survivors' trusts, where we'll first dive into what exactly a survivors' trust is and how they work. So let's get started. Many married couples have their assets intertwined and are reluctant to split their assets into separate individual trusts. So, a joint trust can be used to plan for these couples. A survivor's trust is part of a joint living trust. The survivor's trust provides the surviving spouse with the same kind of flexibility that he or she would have had the couple used separate trusts at the outset. In a community property state, a joint trust also allows for the preservation of the valuable double step-up of basis at the death of the first spouse. In the typical joint trust arrangement, there are 4 lists of property: the couple's joint assets, the couple's community property, the first spouse's separate property, and the second spouse's separate property. When the first spouse dies, the survivor's trust receives 1/2 of the community property, plus all or some fraction of the joint property. In addition, the survivor's trust contains all property identified as the separate property of the surviving spouse. The surviving spouse is in complete control of the survivor's trust and can change it in any way he or she wants, including adding assets, removing assets, changing beneficiaries, or appointing new fiduciaries. The surviving spouse can also completely restate the survivor's trust. In this way, the joint trust can provide a similar level of flexibility and freedom for the surviving spouse as would have happened with separate trusts, while avoiding the emotional or practical objections of creating and funding separate trusts for each spouse at the beginning. Thanks for checking out this video, and please make sure to like and subscribe to see more videos like it. If you would like more information about survivors' trusts, you can always access that right here. Or check out the show notes and links in the description below. See you next time.